But what we do see is there is that change in antidepressants in overdose deaths, whether they're suicidal or unintentional. What it could mean is that there's some problem related to the drugs themselves, but it could also mean, and I think this might be more likely, that people who are depressed are having easier access to antidepressants. So there are more antidepressants out in the world that happen to be available to people who go on to die by suicide or an unintentional overdose.
Be careful about what you conclude from this suicide data because some of these studies have a huge time frame range. Like one of them goes from 1965 to 2010. I'll link it in the description. And a lot of things have changed since then in relation to how we diagnose and treat mental illness. There's a lot of different things that could qualify as antidepressants, such as ADHD medication, which actually increases risk of suicidal thoughts if you look at the list of known symptoms. We also need to look at the ratios of diagnosis over time for antidepressant related illnesses such as ADHD, which have probably gone up over time. And we also need to consider the fact that our nation is significantly less wealthy than it was when these studies began, and people are struggling. So, when you have economic hardship, it's going to be reasonable to expect that drugs aren't going to solve all the problems. And we're also going to have less genetically and mentally resilient children over time due to medicine halting natural selection. Our children are going to slowly become more vulnerable to physical and mental illness the more effective medicine becomes at enabling people to reproduce who would have likely died before modern medicine.